You talk about preparation a lot, and I've had a lot of guys on the podcast talk about you and your diligent preparation. Do you want to talk to us about kind of like the day in the life of Nathan Cleary?
Yeah, it sort of varies, but I've always just sort of had the mindset that preparation gives me confidence for the game, and I honestly believe that game day should be the funnest part of the week. And I think early on in my career it probably wasn't. Like I got to game day and I was a bit like anxious, stressing, and like I haven't done this, I haven't practiced this, and I think, as I said before, like I think I naturally sort of think like sort of doubtful thinking, like particularly around footy.
So you're low-key pessimistic?
Not pessimistic. I would say I'm quite optimistic, but not with it, like not for myself, like in a game. Like I sort of think of what could go wrong.
So you still got doubts on yourself, even like right now?
Yeah, 100%. I'm constantly fighting that. And I think that's something I've got better at is I've sort of accepted that there is going to be doubts there. There's going to be days where you feel better than others. But yeah, you're going to have days where you're just feeling like shit. So it's about how you deal with that, how you snap out of it. And sort of not the mindset of, how do I completely get rid of the doubts? Like I don't want any doubts coming to mind. Just sort of, if it does come in, sort of accept it and then just flip it to like a positive thought. And that's always come back to my preparation. Like I've just got a routine now where, I can, if I nail that, I get to game day and I've got no doubts. Like things might go wrong in the game, but it's got nothing to do with my preparation. Like leave myself with no excuses.
Yeah, that's cool. What's some of the most superstitious things you got about your preparation? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, like honestly, that's another thing. I've sort of got rid of any like superstitions. It's probably more so now just like routine, I guess. So I just like the 2 days out before the game, sort of where it starts, like to stretch, and then cabins run will stretch twice, game day will stretch. So it's sort of like a stretch thing. I just feel good when I do it. And then in terms of like video and like extras, it sort of just depends on the week. It's actually funny. It was mad. Dan Carter came out and had a kick with us.
Oh, my mate Dizzy. Yeah, I know Dizzy.
your mate.
I know Dizzy too.
Yeah, he came out and had a kick with him, and he actually like just gave me some gold. He was like he would plan out his week like on the Sunday of like what he'd do for extras during the week, and that's something that like I don't know. When I was younger, I could sort of just kick as much as I wanted to and do as much out on the field, like stay out as long as I wanted to. But now it's starting to get a bit old, man. the body starts to tighten up a bit, and you just can't do those things as much. And he said he'd like just plan out his week, like what sort of kicks he'd do each day. And I've just sort of tried to do that this year, and I think it helps a lot, and sort of gives you a bit of structure to what you're actually doing and what you want to achieve. Like in the past, I'd just stay out there for as long as I can, just kick the ball around because I enjoy doing it. Like it was fun, but now it's sort of a bit more structure to it.
That's funny, as I'm talking to Quade about like his kicking routine, and like same thing as Dan Carter, like their Monday to Friday is like so planned out. But he'll give me an example. So he'd be like, on a Monday, I'd be like a meter. So he'll be like goalpost, like right in front of him on the try line. He'll go to a meter and like try and bang it in through there. Yeah. But it wasn't about trying to hit the target. It was all about the shape of the ball and stuff like that. And he goes, yeah, I'll do like 15 of those max. And then on Tuesdays, I'm trying to do the ones that I can. I was like, it was so detailed. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Like it's crazy how they think like that because I just had never thought of it in that way. But it makes a lot of sense, and I think that's another thing is just sort of being process driven too, not so much about the result.
Yeah.
Where like I would have, particularly with goal kicking, I'd have sessions where I would just not leave until I'm like kicking them the way I want to. And sometimes you just got to accept that you're just going to have days where it's not working out, but just sort of sticking to your routine and having trust in that.
What else did you learn from Dizzy? Sorry, Dan Carter, for you guys. What else did you learn from him? Because I think I saw him the day after he came out here, and I think he just hung out with Nico Hines too. And we were at the RLPA meeting, and everyone was scared to ask him questions, bro. Yeah. But because I grew up in New Zealand, I'm like, fuck, this cunt's the man.
Yeah.
So I want to go ask him. And I asked him what the difference between Nath and Nico was. And he said, like, Nico's trying to do a lot of things right now. He's trying to podcast. He's trying to start charities. He goes, Nathan just felt like he was so zoned in on a single goal, and that was a clear difference for me. And hearing that from Dan Carter was pretty cool. But what else did you learn from him?
Bro, honestly, like when he came in, so Darryl Halligan, he's been my kicking coach for a while, and he set it up, and he told me he was going to come in. And bro, I honestly felt that nervous, like just meeting him. And then I saw him, it was like, this guy to me was obviously growing up in New Zealand as well. He was just like something that was just superhuman. So I was like sweating, like nervous to talk to him. But then just getting to know him, like he's just a genuine dude. Like
that was the thing. I just
bro,
realized how
such
normal
a
he
good
was.
guy, man. He's such a good guy, but he just the way he spoke about like what he'd been able to do and just sort of his processes, like it was just fluent. Like he'd become so, I guess, accustomed to it, and it just become like who he was. And I think that was something that I just learned from just his body language and the way he spoke was like that's how it's got to be. Like you just can't fake that shit. Like you gotta, it's just got to be who you are, and it does give you confidence. And he ended up coming and speaking to the boys after. Like we were in a meeting, he just like popped his head in.
Sick.
Boys were frothing.
All the Kiwi boys.
They were loving it.
Were they banging on the chair too? Like,
and like he just like even then it was like an impromptu like dad sort of just threw to him, and he just like spoke so well about just processes and what it takes, and it was cool.